Stephen P. New. Now, I know about Stephen P. New because I watch or listen to Jim Cornette's podcast. And every show, they advertise his law firm. Stephen P. New, Stephen P. New, Stephen P. New. Call Stephen P. New. I know all about him that way. That's the only time I've heard about him. I didn't know anything about him managing or defending, lawyering for CM Punk, Ace Steel, or any wrestler that is modern day. But apparently, he's a lawyer for a lot of wrestlers. A ton of wrestlers. Not just on the indie circuit, but in AEW and WWE. Wow. Big guy, apparently. Makes a lot of money off of lawyering for wrestling. Anyways, why are we here? So, Stephen P. New did a podcast with Wrestling with Rip Rogers. That's the name of the podcast. And on this podcast, he talked about NDAs when it comes to that media scrum Brawl Out 2022. Here's what he essentially said. He says, we are greatly limited in what we can say about that event. Ace is correct about not being able to talk about what happened between him, CM Punk, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. And he says, you're never going to hear me, Ace, or Punk comment on the matters because they've all signed lifetime NDAs. Non-disclosure agreements. Lifetime. For the rest of their life. CM Punk, Ace Steel, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. Everyone involved in that brawl have signed NDAs. They cannot talk about it. So, right there, this is more than just a fight. Without even going into detail. If this was just about CM Punk going up on stage during that media scrum, calling out the Young Bucks, calling out Kenny Omega as EVP, saying that they can't run a target, running down Hangman Page, and it leads to them going backstage and getting into a fisticuffs. If it was just he rants and they fight, then this wouldn't be that big of a deal. Because, first off, why are we acting like a fight doesn't happen? Fights happen all the time. Not just in wrestling, but everywhere. Fights happen. You do the necessary consequences, your due diligence. You punish the people who are at fault, which in this case they did. They fined all of them. You suspended the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Punk was, I guess, suspended, probably fined, but didn't matter because he was gone for 8 months anyways because he was injured. So they all went away. They separated them. They said, hey, you go over here, you go over here. We're going to create 2 shows. We're going to let this cool off. Then when you guys are ready to be professionals, when you're ready to be professionals, we're going to come together. We're going to come together and we're going to try. We're going to try to talk this out. If that was it, then this wouldn't be a big deal. We'd be done with it. But the fact that they signed NDAs lets me know this is more than just that. This is more than just a fight. Whatever happened last year at All Out, it must be so bad that it could possibly sink AEW. We're talking about something that, look, when I hear lifetime NDA, I think someone died. Like, did someone get permanently injured? Did someone get involved in this fight that we're trying to keep under wraps? Like, that's the kind of stuff that would require lifetime NDAs. If it was just a brawl, okay, they got into a fight, and we know why they got into a fight. Punk called them out. They said, all right, bitch, I'm gonna meet you in your locker room. So if that was the case, all right, you suspend them. You tell us why it happened, and then they come together, they work it out, turn it into a program, make some money. But it was so bad that the EVPs and Punk couldn't even get along. Their own circles didn't like each other. It was affecting the entire locker room. So whatever really truly happened must have been so extreme that the relationship between Punk and AEW just had to be severed. So one of these days, apparently we might hear about it, but it can only come from one person. Not Ace Steel, not Punk, not Kenny, not the Young Bucks, but Ace Steel's wife, Lucy. who was also in the room while it happened. I don't think she got into a fight. Doubt it, because she didn't sign any NDAs. So that's the only person that could possibly talk about it. Do I think she's going to say anything? No. I don't think she needs to, number one. But also, what does she get out of that? What, she going to do a documentary series? Dark Side of the Ring? Talking about Brawl Out? They better be willing to make the most out of that, because honestly, unless they're paying her millions and millions of dollars, there's no reason for her to, in my opinion, to ever do something, to even talk about it. So, yeah, like, NDAs makes you look at it from a different perspective. Like, okay, this is more serious than just a fight. But if that was what it was, then all right, that's the information. We'll move on from that. No, there's more to the story. So, on Twitter, 4 a.m., literally 4 a.m. in the morning, during Christmas, by the way, Chris Jericho decides to tweet. He's probably drunk. Not probably. He is drunk. He talks about, hey, I didn't sign any NDAs. I could talk about the situation, and I saw everything. I was a fly on the wall. I saw what the Young Bucks did. I saw what Kenny. Most importantly, I saw what CM Punk and Ace Steel did, and what they did was disgusting. Now, Stephen P. New, being a lawyer, a good lawyer, if that's what he is, messages Chris Jericho and says to him, you might want to check your wrestler's handbook on that one, sir. I don't think it would be in your best interests to talk about this, especially knowing that you work for Tony Khan and he could punish you in certain ways. And this is when the drama starts. Here's where it gets out of hand, because Chris Jericho decides to go off on Mr. Stephen P. New, call Stephen P. New. That theme song goes hard, though. I actually do like that little corny-ass theme song. But he decides to go off on Mr. Stephen P. New. Here's what he says. Hey, Stephen, I don't adhere to an employee handbook and have never had one in 4 years of working for AEW. I've also never signed an NDA in my life. Ever. So stop trying to be a bully and making egotistical fantasy brags for your clients, and start doing some research before you make blanket statements about your buddies. Because I saw everything that night. I see everything. Including how Lucy and her husband and best buddy acted and what really went down. He got the fresh scoop. He got the scoop. And since I was in the room and watching her and everybody else that whole time, I know exactly what really happened. And considering you weren't there and I was, maybe you should shut your mark ass up. Because what really went down was disgusting. Stephen P. New responds, thank you, Chris. We will just attach this tweet as Exhibit A. Merry Christmas. Well, he better be lucky Sheriff Bryan Danielson wasn't up, because he would find his ass. Well, in case you guys don't know, Bryan Danielson he's doing this joke where he goes around just slapping fines. Not actually, maybe. I don't know, but figurative fines on wrestlers who tweet stuff that's stupid. And I just figured, yep, he's about to get fined by Sheriff Danielson. And you all know Bryan Danielson is a part of the disciplinary committee. So he actually does issue fines. Not the way that we're joking about, but it would be funny if he actually responded to this. Fined! God damn it! But yeah, Chris Jericho says he got the scoop and he could talk about it anytime. And as you can imagine, this sparked so much drama, especially from the nemesis of AEW himself, James E. Cornette, who responds, God, Chris, it's Xmas. Slap Tony's dick out of your mouth. You got his dad's money the next 10 years, and the Buckaroos will still let you play with the cool kids. You don't have to tell the truth. Just quit lying. I love this. Punk is sorry he made a difference in AEW business, and you haven't. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true, but I mean, it's hard to not argue that Punk was more impactful on AEW's business than Chris Jericho was. So, here we are. And as you can tell, Chris Jericho is twinding. He's twinding. He is twinding. Putty tat. He is trending. And there are tons of people talking about how this makes AEW look bad. Oh my God, the drama's back. Why can't we be done with this brawl out situation? And look, here's what I will say. And I'm going to keep it succinct. It's Christmas. You guys don't got time for this drama. But I do appreciate you for being here and watching me, for those who did decide to turn on this video. Why does this matter? Is the ultimate question. When I think about this entire situation, when it comes to the All Out Brawl, when it comes to what really happened, why does it matter? If Lucy and Chris Jericho decided, hey, we're going to do a podcast and we're going to tell the world everything that happened, unless someone died or something so horrible it could sink AEW, which again, I would still be asking the question, why does it matter? And here's why I asked that question. Number one, Punk is gone. CM Punk is not in AEW no more. And I doubt he's ever going to come back. I've always said that I appreciate AEW for bringing back CM Punk, bringing him out of retirement and bringing him back to the wrestling business, making him fall in love with wrestling again. But the reality of the situation is it was a toxic relationship. Punk did not get along with that locker room because Punk is old school. Punk loves storytelling. Punk loves characters. He's more about that than the in-ring aspect. And that clashes with the ideologies of a Kenny Omega, a Young Bucks, and even a Tony Khan. They don't get along. And Punk being temper-minded, someone who can't, let's just say he can't control his temper once it reaches a certain point. He holds grudges. All right? We know that. You put him in a position where he's some executive. Apparently he had an employee position. I won't say an EVP, but someone important, where he's over these talents and he has to manage them. He can't do that. So yeah, I can imagine he was a headache to a lot of people. If he was still there, I could understand why we would be talking about this, but he's not there no more. He's fired. He's gone. The EVP's won. You got to stay. He got fired. Colt Cabana keeps his job. Hangman Page is getting tons of TV time. But why does it matter? He's gone. He's back in WWE. Most likely gonna main event WrestleMania with Seth Rollins, by the way. One of the highest acts they've had in a long time. He's happy. He gets to work with NXT, possibly help Shawn Michaels build the future for WWE. Because they listen to him. Because they appreciate his insight, his mind, what he has to add. AEW didn't. It was a toxic relationship that had to end. We wanted it to work out, but guess what? It didn't. He's gone. So why does it matter? Number two, the only reason we were talking about this all-out, brawl-out situation was the potential of we, the fans, getting CM Punk versus the Elite in some fashion. Of us getting CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. Of us getting FTR CM Punk versus the Elite. Some version of this brawl that would have done so much business, such good business for AEW. That was the only reason we were talking about this. Here's the problem with that now. Now that we know that they have NDAs, now that we know that CM Punk is gone, and now that we know that Kenny Omega is out with diverticulitis, Hopefully he gets better. And the Young Bucks are off screen. Why does this matter? Everyone involved in that situation is out. Kenny Omega's out. Injury, diverticulitis, sickness, illness. Young Bucks are currently on leave. Don't know when they'll be back. Ace Steel is fired. Lucy's gone with them. CM Punk's in WWE. Why are we dredging this up? What's the benefit from dredging this up? There is no benefit from this. It's not going to impact the TV product in a positive way. How about that? Mostly, and the last one I'll get to before I get out of here. Why does this matter? How does it improve the product? Why are we focused on literally the blackest mark in the company's history? You had an opportunity to make right of the wrong. You had an opportunity to make right of what was wrong. There we go. I said it right that time. You could have taken that black mark and made it into gold. But unfortunately, egos couldn't prevail and circumstances didn't allow that. NDAs were signed, so even if you wanted to, you couldn't. So instead of focusing on this situation, a black mark that you have to live with, apparently now for the rest of your existence, because you can't talk about it, we can't reveal to the world what really happened, so you gotta live with it. You can't be rid of it. It's stuck on you. It's permanent. And it's sad. The more I think about it, it really is sad. And I think the reason we want to know what happened is because we as fans want to move on from it. We want to understand why this can never work out. That's the only reason why I would, under any circumstance, agree to a Chris Jericho or a Lucy talking about it. Is to just understand what happened. That's it. But at the end of the day, even if they talked about it, how is it going to improve the product? I'm asking. Oh, wait, it's not. Why are we focused on this? Why is Chris Jericho on Christmas coming out on Twitter talking about, well, I can talk about it? Okay. Who cares? Why does this matter? Instead of talking about, well, I didn't sign an NDA, why aren't you talking about, well, I have a tag match, supposedly a tag match coming up this upcoming weekend at AEW World's End. You know, that big pay-per-view event that's supposed to close out the year? Why aren't you talking about that and you finding a potential partner? I care more about that than this NDA bullshit. Why aren't we talking more about the stories happening on AEW? The characters that are being built? The awesome in-ring action? Why is it that anytime AEW is mentioned in media, it's over some dumb shit? Aren't we tired of this? Aren't we tired of AEW being associated with some stupid fucking drama? It's time out for it, man. It's good for clicks. This will probably get a ton of clicks because everyone loves drama. I want to get to a point that every time I talk about AEW, it's over something awesome. Man, that story with Edge and Christian was amazing. This Continental Classic, loved it, can't wait for the finals. Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee's about to go after Swerve Strickland. The women's division is coming back. We're getting 2 women's matches. Well, we had it for that one show on Collision. We need to get back to that. That would be nice. Them fixing the tag team division, them fixing the trios division. Us getting less belts. Like, beneficial stuff. What's gonna happen at Revolution? What's gonna happen at All In? Forbidden Door, Double or Nothing. What other pay-per-views you got? Are you coming back to Houston? What other big markets are you trying to go to? Why aren't we talking about that? I don't give a damn about All Out. You want to know why I don't care? Because what I wanted out of it, clearly I'm not going to get. It's not going to happen. I am never going to see CM Punk versus Kenny Omega, at least not in AEW. Maybe Kenny Omega will say, all right, I don't want to work here no more. I'm going to go to WWE. Maybe I'll see it there. But not in the form that I want, because we're never going to be able to talk about what happened here. So, if it's never going to be able to be discussed, then it's irrelevant now. Move on from it. Move on from it. Don't trudge up drama. Don't trudge up this negative bullshit that only is just gonna drag AEW down again. They are already in the fucking dirt right now. They can barely sell out arenas. Their stories are all over the place. They're trying to get back to a place where fans feel confident in going to see them and watching their shows. Why would you get involved in drama? Why put yourselves in a situation where fans can see you in a negative light right now? You can't afford that. Not right now, especially with WBD currently in talks with WWE. And people are going to sit here and say, oh, I don't know. Never say never. Never say never. This is a very, very vulnerable time for AEW. Focus on what matters. The TV product. All this other shit, the Brawl Out, whatever. Be done with it. Move forward. Stop talking about CM Punk. Stop talking about Cody Rhodes. Stop talking about CM Punk. Stop talking about Jay Cargill because they ain't here no more. Talk about the people who are here or who are going to be here. The new signees that got released by WWE. The new talent that you can create. The new guy or the new gal who can become bigger than CM Punk. Talk about that. This shit just makes everybody look bad. You tell me when I'm telling lies. There was a year ago where I was all over this and I talked about it and I said, man, I hope these guys come together and make money off of it. But apparently, legally, they can't do that. The lawyers have stopped them from doing that. Oh well. So I guess no one's going to benefit from this. It's just going to be left as a black mark. Fine. Then the best thing we can do is just move forward and stop talking about it. That's it. Brawl Out happened. That doesn't mean we have to define AEW by that event. You can do something to make people forget, to make fans forget. Some things that will make fans go, you know what? That was a black mark on their career. That was a black mark on their company. But you know what? I love what they're doing now. I love this place. I love watching this show. I love what they're doing with the talent. I love the stories. I love the characters. I love the in-ring action. I love the blend of it all. Let's talk about that. Not this bullshit. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you for watching. Do all the YouTube things. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cashapp, and Venmo. God bless you, merry gentlemen. I'll catch you guys in my next video, which should be the end of the year awards. And then live review for AEW's World's End to close out the year. And then we're back in business for live streams starting next week. So until then, love you all. See you guys next time right here in Alyx's world. The place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Peace.